what are people using to play your file?
For any Blu-ray player that has Bitstream can play it. Reverend Sims using an older Oppo, not the 203, because he's like, can you make this in 1080p? So I made a 1080p. And I made it just for you, bro. All the 1080p videos I made just for you. I mean, not just for you, but like that was the inspiration. I'm like, oh, I better make a 1080p version. So I made a 1080p version. It'll play on Plex. It'll play on Plex Shield. It'll play on Zapedi, Zydu. I tested it myself on the LG UBK90, which is a budget 4K player. It won't work on any Panasonic players. No Panasonic players at all.
It'll work in VLC, actually.
Yeah.
If you throw it onto your computer and if you play it on VLC, I don't know if you have to change some settings in there, but I got it to work.
You just have to pick the encoded output for the audio.
But
through HDMI to your receiver or whatever.
Yeah, so if I plug in my MacBook Pro, I play it on VLC, HDMI to my AVR, it all works. It shows Dolby Atmos.
Yeah. So that's where do you guys want a link? You haven't downloaded it yet. I will put the little thing. You got to sign up. I got to take your name and your email address, and let's toss this.
Works in Xbox.
Here. Works on Xbox. Yeah. Some people have even plugged in their thumb drive with the file on it to a TV, and were e-arcing the file, the audio to their receiver. So I was just like, oh wow, okay, I guess you can do that too, because I don't, do that.
We forgot to talk about this. We're kind of running out of time, but how you were telling me that every time you create a video, the volume is so much lower. Remember, we had this is basically we were talking about the whole time, and I was saying, almost everything on Disney Plus is significantly lower on the Shield, on pretty much anything, unless I have a setting, to change the, compress the volume.
Sure.
But out of the box, if I go to YouTube, it's way louder. If I play music in some kind of music player, it's way louder than Disney Plus. And I think that's kind of the issue. And anytime I play a movie on Plex, significantly lower. And I'm not sure exactly why that is. Maybe they're, the recommendation for those types of content, that type of content, I think is probably like minus 24 LUFS. Basically, the standard it requires lower. I'm not sure if that's a number of 16. I don't know what it is.
Oh, the LUFS. It's supposed to be negative 18 for Atmos.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. And I know all my patrons have been talking about it. Not all of them, but most of the comments. Jeremy even told me, he's like, the volume's kind of low. I get that here too. Like, it's funny. Like, Joe and I spent, how many hours did we spend on that?
I don't know,
3?
2 or 3 hours,
something like that. And we're maxed out in all of the audio software. So there's something that happens in between the encoding process, whether it's the encoding process or just the playback system. I always have to play it here. If it's on a thumb drive, on the LG UBK90, or on the Zapedi itself, that's just reading the file from, I got to jack up the Pioneer to 0. If it's a negative dB scale, like I got to get like a healthy level out of it.
And normally, what are you at? So if that's 0,
normally I'm at like negative 10, negative 12.
Okay, so that's the difference, right?
Yeah,
about 10 to 12 dB difference. To me, that's what I noticed also on Disney Plus, though. That's what I was trying to tell you, is it's not only your videos. I find that when I go to some of these formats, I know I have to jack up the volume, and so I have to be careful when I switch out of that app, go into a different one. It might be about
you're gonna get a TV loud, commercial, right? Yeah.
So anyway, we should wrap up pretty soon because I gotta do some Halloween stuff.
All right, cool. Here, All Tech Geek. Yep. When can we expect your review on 516 Atmos setup review? All right, so I have the speakers here, but my contractor buddy was in Hawaii, so he's not coming for a couple of weeks. Since I have an extra 1 speaker, I'm gonna do 3 in here in the middle, the regular Atmos, and then since I have the extra speaker and he's already going to be up here, I'll put a Voice of God in here. Might as well, right? Might as well. So then I can try out Voice of God and front height or center height in the middle there, because I have the 6700. So yeah, a few weeks for that. Do we see any movie trailers rendered in Atmos mix in your future Atmos files? As of now, YouTube trailers just have a stereo mix. Oh, unless I have the actual stems, I can't really do that. I mean, I could probably, you know what I could do? I can use an AI software called lalal.ai, and I can put in an audio file and it will strip out the vocal for me.
Oh,
so if I wanted to, I guess I could redo all of the explosions and sound effects myself and have the actual voice taught. Oh God.
You can isotope that thing. You can isotope it too and just start separating things out. But it's much better to have the original.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, and it would be a lengthy process. And I tell you this right now, like I just got the schedule for my DJing at the ski resort this winter, and I am going to be busy every weekend, 100%, which is awesome because I'm making a buttload of money. But that means my time to do that kind of stuff is going to be limited. However, since you don't really need a studio to create Atmos, all you need is one of these things. I'll probably be, maybe.
Careful though, because remember what we found out. If you use headphones to render,
I know. I'd have to listen to it here. But then here's it, and here's the other thing. Like if I'm doing it on my headphones, I can just pump out a 714 mix either way, and then just play it on my consumer level, Atmos system, which is what you guys have at home. So I'll know exactly what you guys will be hearing. So yeah, if there's a short enough demo or short enough trailer, maybe I can make my own trailer that's in Atmos and just be like, yeah, what's up? Mic drop or mouse drop. I don't know.
We have lots of things to do. We have lots of things to try out, test out, and hopefully you guys are getting some use out of it, because we're doing it for fun. We're going to do it regardless. We're doing it for our own personal reasons. Just
I mean, it's actually really cool. And I'm getting a bunch of messages from a lot of people that love the music mixes that I make. Some of you like All Tech Geek that I know Buddy was like, yo, I gave my file to your file to my friend, and he was blown away. He didn't know how cool his system sounded. So it's really interesting to hear that kind of thing. Kevin, who's always listening to Atmos music, was saying, oh, I love this Panic Room extended mix that you did. You really should be the one making the spatial audio mixes on Apple TV or whatever, Apple Music, which is a great compliment. So I appreciate all those compliments.
I agree too. You should.
I do too. Because it's actually a hell of a lot of fun, and I've actually found out a few ways that I can trick you guys. And while doing all this stuff, I also almost threw up because I just listening to this stuff just go around me like for hours and hours on end just to get the right effect. Like I was just like, I gotta stop this.
You're kind of a genius with that stuff. I was surprised when we get into the mixing stuff, because I don't get to see that, right?
Yeah, of course.
I don't know, but I'm here. I'm just trying to learn, and you're an expert with that. You have so much experience with it. But here, you can try this track that I've been messing with. It has so many tracks. I'm like, what is this? I can't even. I have an ultra wide. I'm like, oh, there's just too much in here. Forget all that.
Yeah,
I don't want.
Yeah, no, it's
too much work, man. That's too much work for me.
And I don't really think. I do think that the amount of time you've been working on one thing, yes, 100%. But the key is like still having that same passion about it that you had 20 years ago, right? Like that's why they love me up there at the ski resort when I'm DJing, because I bring people to obviously to hang out and buy more drinks, but my energy, not just the music, and they can see the passion, right? And people come up, man, they scan my little QR code to get all my mixes and stuff like that, and follow me on like whatever social medias, and they're like, dude, this is so awesome. I'm like, and whenever I tell them, oh, by the way, if you like this, I recorded today's session and I'll have it uploaded tomorrow, so when you drive home, your 4-hour drive home, you can listen to this on the way home. And people are like, oh my God, this is so cool. So yeah, it's all about passion. You could be doing something for 20 years, 30 years, and People think you know what you're talking about. But when you lose that passion or that spark to make every project the best you can, that's kind of like, I think when, you know, things just become, as somebody said it, people get set in their ways. You get set in your ways and you kind of just do one thing without trying to push any more boundaries because you're like, oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
That can happen. I'm a perfectionist, so I spend way too much time doing something that somebody might not even notice, but it's for me. And hopefully somebody else benefits from it.
I hate Joe for that because every time we were trying to do a new like backdrop for me, he'd be like, oh, I'll try it this way. Oh, I'll try this. We tried like 20 different things. And like, I'm like, I spent way too much time on this shit. Like I have so many other things to do. But at the end of the day, it did look great. So
it all adds up, right? All the little things add up sometimes.
All right. If you would like to join us every week on Mondays at, what time is it? About 6 p.m. Central, which is the best time. That's where I am. Make sure you join us at youtube.com/Daily HiFi. We out.